Yo, yo, yo. Hello, Flare community. Welcome back. And of course, I hope you're all doing well and having an incredible day as always. Yes, it is Thursday, which means that we're going to be doing the weekly news catch up. We got Mark in the house. We got TRT. We got Valiant Energy, aka John D. Professor Doc Bob D. We've got Kirsty in the house. We've got Pay Me in XRP. We've got Hitter, Terra Mesa, the legend, and of course, Professor making the extra comment right there. I believe we are streaming live. Today, we're going to be actually a little blitzing through the news today. There is not going to be any Discord chat, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We're going to jump straight in talking about the FTSO monitor here. Let me just quickly switch this to the Flare side of things. And if we go by the reward rate descending from the previous epoch, topping the charts, we have Flare, Light FTSO. In second place, we have Ivy Oracle. Third place, we have Nordso. In fourth place, we have Eternity. And in fifth place, we have Price Kraken. So congratulations to all of the various signal providers that are contributing to the FTSO, the Flare Time Series Oracle, and providing that data with great success rates. Moving over to xHaven, this is the NFT section. And of course, it's not really unexpected, but topping the charts is the Block Bonez collection. That's the traits specifically. Second place, we have the Block Bonez foundational NFTs themselves. In third place, the best FTSO legacy NFTs. Fourth place, S-Toads, who are actually planning to launch the DApp, the highly anticipated decentralized application, within the next couple of months. And in fifth place, we have the Superbad Genesis Seed series. Congratulations to making it into the top 5. We're going to jump straight in here with DeFi Divi with the Flare Rich List reloaded. Hello, pull that back. Here we go. So these are the charts or the statistics for all those who are holding FLR within the Flare community. Now, something that I would like to say is that don't necessarily share your status here, your whale ranking, because it may actually subject you to becoming an attack of some sophisticated scammers. So I would always recommend just keeping things to yourself. But this is more of an infographic just to, I guess, keep you up to date with everyone else that is in the community. Sarah asking about my voice being a little bit husky today. Yeah, it may be that, it may be so, but it is what it is. Here we are with an official Flare Networks tweet. If you didn't know, the latest Flare drop is now available. This is Flare drop number 18, which signifies that we are halfway through 36 airdrops, or I guess distributions. So, you know, I think everyone here that's listening today, you guys are already benefiting from, having a big share of this flare drop, but we're only halfway through this distribution. Now, something interesting to consider is there's two sides to the coin where you're holding FLR and you're receiving airdrops. It's a great thing. But at the same time, some people may be receiving their airdrops and selling their airdrops, which creates a little bit of downwards pressure, right? So when the airdrops stop, there is going to be this big lull in downwards pressure. Now, for me personally, the airdrops that I accumulate are actually just saved. I'm not selling anything. I'm here to accumulate because I'm aware of bigger things that are going to come, and that being interoperability solutions, and also the data solutions that Flare is going to offer. So do what you will, but just acknowledge that we're halfway through the Flare drops, 18 out of 36. Yes, the Flare teams, through their partnership with the initial investors, are actually burning quite a lot. In this month particularly, they burnt more than 66 million FLR, which signifies quite a big actual portion of the total supply. So currently, 2.1 billion FLR has been burnt, which again is nothing to be laughed at. So it sort of contributes to that deflationary pressure alongside the transaction fees, which you will occur for any transaction integrating or upon the Flare network. Again, this is actually probably the biggest news of the week. The Flare team are thrilled to announce the launch of the FLR Protocol Emissions Program. And what does this mean? Well, they're very much incentivizing decentralized finance within the Flare network. So if you're participating within DeFi, aka decentralized finance, maybe it's providing liquidity, whether it's borrowing assets, whether it's lending assets, the Flare network, association or the team there are actually incentivizing this with a lot of FLR, and this is where we've seen the birth of FLR Fi Summer, Flare Fi Summer, right? So there are opportunities right here. So one of the opportunities, we'll talk about it in a second. If you're not familiar, you can actually claim these rewards. If you are participating in DeFi within the Flare network, maybe you're eligible for FLR protocols emissions. And if you go to flr.network, you'll be able to find your way and navigate towards this sort of screen here. And instead of clicking on your main account where you can wrap and delegate, if you come here to the emissions tab, you'll be able to select one of the three projects that are supported. We've got SparkDex, we've got BlazeSwap, and we've got Kinetic. Where you'll be able to receive some of these rewards. Now, I actually participated with SparkDex very early on, and unfortunately, they sort of messed some things up. We'll talk about that in a second, but SparkDex farms are live, and this was back in the one of the 30th of July. I was very quick to enter this pool because there are a lot of opportunities here if you do want to benefit from this incentive protocol. They launched the V3 DEX, which is almost, it's the Uniswap V3 DEX, which means it talks about concentrated liquidity. There was a problem with their calculations in terms of this particular emissions here, so if I go back here, the support of the Fleur Foundation giving FLR to Spark DEX, they assigned a certain amount and said Spark DEX, support the growth. And this particular initiative was designed with the intention of fostering growth within the DeFi community and almost migrating stable coins and incentivizing stable coins to be migrated to the Fleur network. And we've seen that with a lot of success. But Spark DEX missed the heartbeat, and they have remedied the situation. So I was actually a recipient of this this correction, which was very nice. I like to see that people are, not just making mistakes, but correcting them as well. And one thing that I will say about Spark DEX in general is that, I think a lot of people within the community had this sort of ruckus behind them. Spark DEX, maybe not the best at communication. There's no doubt about that, but they did resolve their honor, let's say, and they have redeemed everyone and put everyone whole. This is actually one of the partners with Kinetic, who are providing, I guess, the liquidity in terms of their decentralized exchange for anyone that may be liquidated. So we're going to talk about Kinetic right now. So it is here. Lending and borrowing is now live on Kinetic. So this gives people the opportunity, if you are a holder of these particular assets, we've got USDC here, we've got SFLR, which is staked FLR on behalf of Scepter, and USDT, which is bridged again from Stargate. So if you're holding any of these, you can actually lend these assets out via the Kinetic markets protocol, I guess, let's call it that. And the APYs right now are actually quite attractive. So I'm very much heavily participating in FlurFi Summer. I highly recommend that you guys do too, because the earlier you start participating, the more you can, I guess, the bigger share of the benefits that you can receive. I was actually very fortunate to get this infographic here ahead of time from none other than Jake. You may have seen him from the Kinetic videos. He's quite a legend in the space. Very, I don't know what the word is, but he's very provocative at sometimes. But I kind of like that. Here's the Kinetic incentives. So there's a lot of incentives for people that are providing RFLR and, borrowing here. This is basically the breakdown. This is what you can get, and you can heavily see that the supply is in favor of the borrowing. So if you're supplying assets, you're going to get heavily rewarded. And one of the beautiful things that I think, in my opinion, is that the ability to supply stable coins, USDT or USDC, is heavily incentivized, which really reduces the risk. So I'm more on the supply side, but there are some people that are borrowing as well. And either way, you're going to get RFLR, which is an asset that is going to be distributed over the course of 12 months. And also, you get these native assets of the Kinetic ecosystem. You've got Jewel, which is the foundational asset, but also Kai, which is what you can receive for staking. Switching gears here, we got a post from Enosis. We wanted to clarify a few things about users about the RFLR emission system and how it will tie into Enosis. Enosis DEX v3, which is very similar to Spark DEX or Spark AI DEX. It's the V3, which means that it's concentrated liquidity. In comparison to Gnosis's current DeFi suite of products, which is V2, you have this linear curve of providing liquidity and people buy into that liquidity. But with V3, you have this thing called concentrated liquidity, where you can specify the range in which the liquidity is provided. This is something very powerful, and I'm going to be talking about this in the near future in depth. And if you do want to, I guess, find out about that, you can definitely subscribe to the channel, because it's going to be something if you want to maximize opportunities in the near future. And of course, the Patreon members will get the first dibs on that, and you can find a link in the description. First, understand that RFLR is a non-transferable token, right? A lot of people are earning this RFLR asset thinking that it is FLR. Well, it's not. These protocol emissions are a different asset from the native asset that you know and love, FLR. It's a way of acknowledging people's liquidity provision at certain scale for various protocols. And you're actually going to be accumulating this RFLR provided on, I guess, based on the liquidity that you provide. At the end of each month, at the end of each monthly epoch, the dApp provider is responsible for tracking, compiling, and submitting the accounting for each user who qualifies for RFLR through their platform. And this is quite important because it highlights that each app is independent of this system. This is not the Flare Foundation analyzing the on-chain data and rewarding RFLR. They've, by my perception of what I've read, the individual teams, the individual developers behind each application are providing the information about the allocation for each user and their interaction to the Flare Foundation, who can then reward people with the FLR. The wrapped FLR is delivered to the native accounts, the RFLR, where it is vested linearly for 12 months. So you can't actually just reclaim this FLR as you would. It's actually vested for 12 months. And there is an ability to claim early, but it does incur a penalty. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. But just as on a high level, I really appreciate Gnosis for bringing this to our attention, because they've got some, I guess, behind the scenes information, and this is the first that we've heard from it. If I'm honest, I'd love to have heard this detailed description from the Flare Network's account themselves. But again, I highly appreciate Gnosis for expanding on what we already knew and talking everyone through the process of how the emissions are actually going to work. As many of you know, I guess this is old news right now. Layer Cake has actually been abandoned. This was a protocol that was designed to bridge EVM networks to EVM networks. Now, I actually participated recently in Stargate, and they fulfilled a similar role. They've been working in the industry for a very long time, and Flare was almost trying to compete with this technology. Now, the abandonment of Layer Cake actually resulted in a strong focus, or a stronger focus, on some of the novel use cases of the Flare network, that being F assets, and also the, I guess, the web connector, which is able to bring on-chain and off-chain data back onto the Flare network. And that focus is very much welcomed for me. I prefer, and I'm very welcoming to the fact that the Flare Labs team are focused on building things that are very novel and not completely competing in a saturated market. Over onto the Block Bonez side of things, or the NFT side of things. Block Bonez, you guys know this is the project that I'm running. I spend many hours per day, maybe 16 hours per day, if not 14 at least. The mouth trades are actually just on the horizon. So obviously we've got the golden grill here. But the idea behind Block Bonez is that each NFT is fully customizable. You pick the traits that you love, and based on their rarity, you basically get paid. And this is something that I wanted to talk about actually, because once you have a fully fused Block Bonez NFT, the rarity-based rewards will be coming in the near future. This is basically a huge treasury of more than 10 million FLR. That's accruing rewards and compounding, and each and every month you're going to be able to claim your FLR share based on the creation that you have, right? The rarer you create an NFT, the more FLR you're going to receive. This is on a per second basis. This is not like the flare drops where you have to wait a month to get this. It's every second. So something very special to consider. And again, I'm super proud of how far I've taken this project. Actually, I've built this project from scratch with the help of Hater. And if you do want to get a discount on any of the traits crates, in addition to many other things, such as winning NFTs on a monthly basis and insights into how I'm navigating the DeFi space, then please consider joining the Patreon group. You can find a link below. And I guess on the same breath, I'm loving the integration from Mr. Tipbot. Of course, if you're part of the Block Bonez community, you will have seen that Mr. Tipbot have integrated BNZ, the native asset of Block Bonez, for a very long time. But recently, they've been making steps and I guess expanding their web, which is incredible because we all benefit from the network effect. SFLR, that's staked FLR via Scepter, is now supported. And we also have the big news that FLR and wrapped FLR are also available via the Flare official Discord community. So happy days. I see some people asking about when F assets. So F assets is currently live on Coston. Wow. Yeah. The big thing that you need to do right now is participate. If you want to see F assets come to Songbird sooner, you need to participate on Coston. Coston is the test network for Flare. That's what they're analyzing right now. They're looking at the data, and if and when it's sufficient, they're going to deploy F assets on Songbird. I imagine a lot of people within the comments that are asking about F assets are not even participating on Coston. I'd highly recommend, if you want to catalyze the development and the deployment of F assets, to start looking at it and using it on the Coston network. Once it's deployed on Songbird, there's going to be another process of I guess analysis and searching for bugs before it's deployed on the Flare network. So you, as an audience member, as a participant of the F asset system, the best thing that you can do is just interact. You want F assets? Then interact with F assets. The sooner you do that, the better the analysis. The sooner it can be deployed on Songbird, which means the sooner it can be deployed on the Flare network. That's pretty much it, guys. Unfortunately, there's not actually going to be a Discord chat tonight, but I do love you all nonetheless. I'm wishing you all an incredible weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please feel free to do so. And until next time, I'm out.